Reason number one, early accounts or early records. A lot of people tried to claim that the resurrection was a legend, an urban legend that developed over time. Well, that takes a lot of time for legends to develop, and we actually have dated accounts that fall within months of the resurrection or of Jesus' death, of him claiming to have resurrected from the dead. Now again, you can say that doesn't prove that he did resurrect from the dead, but it does prove that this is not a legend, that it wasn't a story that developed over generations removed from the event. We know that people were claiming Jesus resurrected from the dead within months from his death, while living witnesses to his crucifixion were still alive. Reason number two, the empty tomb. Even the enemies of Jesus admit that the tomb was empty. The people denying the resurrection weren't saying, oh no, the tomb, he's there, there's the body in the tomb. They were coming up with different reasons on why the tomb was empty. All of the records that we have are them conceding that the tomb was empty, just with other reasons. The tomb being empty, we really could just be our only answer for the only reason for why the resurrection is true, because you have someone who's claiming to be God. They had every reason to make sure that that body did not get stolen out of that tomb. They had Roman guards. They had a giant stone in front of this tomb, one way in, one way out. They had every reason to make sure this body was not stolen. Yet somehow the tomb was empty. So if we know Jesus was dead and we know the tomb was empty, that demands an explanation. Reason number three, eyewitnesses. Let's take the disciples running around at the scene of the crime and the place of the crucifixion, claiming to have spent time with the resurrected Christ. These disciples were then brutally tortured, eventually murdered for this claim. And they never once retracted their claim. They never once told a different story. They stuck with the same, that they spent time with the resurrected Christ. People die for a belief they hold sincerely. Dying for something you believe proves sincerity, not truth. I can understand that. But the disciples were not dying for a belief. They were dying for a claim that they spent time with someone. People don't die for a hoax that they made up. People aren't tortured brutally without any retraction, without any change of story for a lie that they made up.